How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 13th of April 2021. I'm going to do a brief rundown on Bitcoin, Ether and some of the others. CHSB, I'll do a sort of 30-second very quick overview on CHSB. I want to wait till tomorrow before I do a more in-depth analysis on Swissborg, Swissborg's token. And then we have the Smart Talk on Thursday, which I'll be co-hosting with Ben. So I'll go into a lot more detail during that. If you want to be part of that, and you're not part of the you're not part of Swissborg's Discord, join the DAO, and then jump into the Discord. You'll find me pretty much most of the time in the Wealth and Trading channel. So if you've got any questions or you want to, kind of have a quick chat with me or whatever, I spend most of my time in there. So as always, guys, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Take what I say with a pinch of salt. Make sure you do your own research and stick to your plan. So with Bitcoin, as expected, I have been discussing this for quite some time. The highs we're going to be traded to. And just to kind of reiterate what I said yesterday in the What is Investing video, I'm very confident. When I say the things that I say, it may seem a little bit, cocky, but I have absolute confidence and belief in my ability to be able to read where price is going. So for me personally, Bitcoin was never, after this, which I've discussed at length many times throughout all the videos that we've been doing. We've pretty much tracked price all the way down into this, and then a move away, and then this kind of really nice pop today as well. All of it, we track it every week, 2, 3, 4 times a week. We're constantly tracking price to keep on top of where the liquidity is, and how the flows are going, the accumulation and distribution of orders, so we can kind of work out, are we heavily favored to the buy side or the sell side, and without any event happening or something insane going on, that directly affects, price, we can generally, get it on point around about 90-95% of the time. And I keep saying we, like there's more of me. There isn't. It's just me. But I expected Bitcoin to do this, and obviously, like I said, I kind of broke it all down up to this point. This was the giveaway for me as well. This pretty much sealed the deal for me. It could have dipped back down into there once, but as far as 55, it was never going back down to 55 again. Not a chance. And we've since pretty much made new highs. We can get rid of the liquidity pool there. So what do we do now? Obviously with a pop like this, and this is very important. You'll notice this is not an explosive move. Okay, this is so important what I'm about to say. It isn't an explosive move. So it's just bang, and then it's so much velocity and so much volume and so much everything going into Bitcoin that it just rips so fast. It's not like that. These types of moves that, the one that I've just described, they're not good. I don't like types of moves like that because they're a lot harder to read, and you have to wait till you have to wait for the aftermath and what happens next before you do anything, and that can sometimes take a little bit of time. Whereas with a move like this, which is nice, it's controlled, we can see it on the hourly chart. We had a nice pop, and then it's, look, grinding, working off the orders, dealing off liquidity, and it's, this is what we like, because now if it does dip, it's going to dip to rebalance, not dip to reverse. Yeah, very important, extremely important what I've just said. If you need to go back and re-listen and take some notes, because it's absolutely imperative that you understand what I've just said. There will be opportunities for us to see. In fact, I don't even have to. You can see it here. There you go. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When you see moves like this, where it starts to accelerate and then bang, you get that. And this is the hourly chart. So just imagine this was on the daily. But the actual fractal nature of it's the same. And you get that explosive move to the upside, and it just capitulates at the top. You get that last portion of just, there's nothing left, there's no liquidity, it dries up, so it has to come back. This is a complete rebalancing of price, yeah, and then it just starts to kind of grind sideways. And this is something that we assuming this was the same, and what I've just described about the velocity and these horrible moves, this is what we would have to wait for, and then this for us to say, okay, I'm confident that Bitcoin is going to continue going higher, for example. because we don't know if this is a reversal. Do you understand? Whereas with this is nice, it's controlled, it makes sense, it's spending some time up there, and you can see even just the little dip there, okay, wasn't enough to pull price all the way down to rebalance and find liquidity elsewhere. It's just grinding, and I believe this is going to continue to grind. The most logical place is 65,000. Because it's just a nice round number, it's a psychological number. So expect 65,000 at some point pretty soon, and then we'll just have to kind of grind through the analysis and wait and see. I guess I would probably have to go down. I don't normally do this, but I would have to go down to the 15-minute chart. Yeah, you see that's interesting right there, that small gap. Yeah, very, very interesting. It may need to come and plug that at some point, and if it does, it will be very, very quick and very aggressive, in my opinion. But we'll just have to wait and see. I need to make a note of this 15-minute. I don't know what just prompted me to go down to the 15-minute experience, I guess, but yeah, the 15-minute chart. Where does that line up actually? What are we talking? Around about 61.5. Okay, 61.5, guys. Keep a mental note of 61.5. It may play an important role going forward. But 65,000 is on the cards for me, and I'm loving the way price is moving around. I'm going to continue to leave these, so it's a fresh reminder every time you see the video of the fractal nature of price, the accumulation distribution of liquidity, and the liquidity pools where they were, the most significant liquidity pools, okay? And this is very important. Again, what I've just said, the significant liquidity pools, the ones that tell you where the accumulation, distribution, and dealing off of liquidity is, and whether the accumulation of buy side or sell side, which one is dominant. Yeah, you can't just pick any old liquidity pool, and this is why I've had people that I've helped in the past that see me make a note of an area. And they just try to duplicate it without understanding the context of everything that's happened. The reason I made a note of this liquidity pool, for example, is because everything that happened from here all the way up to this point. And you track price, you see what it's doing, and and this is the most important liquidity pool because it's the primary liquidity pool from this point all the way up to where we are now. This is the primary liquidity pool. Yeah, so it's important to kind of have it in mind, and this is the reason why I'm leaving these on the charts. So it's a fresh reminder every time you come to to do the analysis and you see it on the charts. So Bitcoin, good stuff. We have to wait now and see what happens and make a mental note of 61.5, and we'll see how we go. Ether, as expected, very controlled, all of this. I did explain the controlled nature of Ether and the way that it was going up, and it was expected that we were going to get some continuation with Ether. I'm expecting minimum 2.3 to 2.35 or 2.350, possibly 2.4 before we start to get a pullback. But I'm loving the way that Ether's moving around. There's not much else to kind of go through on Ether because, again, this is a nice controlled movement. Don't need to drop any lower than an hourly, I guess. And you can see nice move, beautiful pause, beautiful dealing off of liquidity, and then another and then another run. Perfect price action. Love it, absolutely love it, and expect more upside on Ether. Swissborg, pretty up and down day. I'm going to get rid of this now. We all know what's going on. Pretty up and down day. Not a great deal going off. As far as I'm concerned, this is just a liquidity raid. And the expectation for Swissborg is still the same for me. But again, I'll do a more in-depth video tomorrow. I'm going to be patient and wait. I've got a funny feeling about something, so I'm going to wait till tomorrow. Uniswap, I mean, I did look at this yesterday. I was going to do the video yesterday, but I'm glad I waited till today. Very nice explosive move yesterday, straight through this, and I was saying we need one of these two to be traded through. Yeah, so now that it has, I'm not going to get rid of it, but I'm going to drag it across, okay? And I'm going to tell you something to keep an eye on, yeah, as a study. If price comes back to this area, yeah, make a note of what it does here. If you want to do the study, maybe set some alerts or something. Just kind of keep an eye on what price does here. This is the daily, so we kind of have to wait, but this should be an inverse level now, and something to keep an eye on. I am expecting highs to be taken, so what I will do, I don't normally do it this way, but I'm going to put a horizontal line here, and I'm going to expect, even though it's tagged it, I'm going to expect another run through that, but it may need to come down here first before it does so. Binance, we had a little bit of capitulation up here. Well, it is capitulation, so it almost went parabolic, but a little bit of capitulation, drying up of liquidity, and we get the expected, pullback. We may come as far, we may come as far down as 500, possibly 490, between 490 and 500. But so far, it seems pretty healthy on the way up. And I would expect a correction and then continued move to the upside, but I think this is going to slow down a little bit now. PAX, as Jim Carrey says in one of his films, Bagoot, so we're going to leave that one alone. Ren, expected, sideways, nothing, and until we see something significant happen on Ren, I'm not really interested in it. Kyber Network, nice grind, but again, not really much. It's quite scatty. You get these pops and then just drops, and then you get another pop and it drops, and then another pop and it drops. This is effectively just looking for liquidity and then just settling into a kind of semi-new range. But as far as going forward, there's nothing really that I could do with this. I've got no interest in trading this or investing in this at all. Ave or Av or Avi. For me, I did make a note in the chat, and I was saying possibly possibly going to run up to 430, and around about between 430 and 450. I can't remember the exact numbers, but I am expecting this to be traded too, and I do like the way that this is moving, to be honest. And this is actually not a bad spot. And I'm going to leave it at that. This is not a bad spot. Yeah, a lot of liquidity build up here. So is there anything of significance? Rebalance. There is obviously an area up here of 500, but this would really need to start to go for that to to be traded up here. But for now, this is a very interesting level for me. 430, in my opinion, is on the cards. So keep an eye on this one. Okay, compound. That's interesting. Keep an eye on this level. Upside, not interested. The only thing that I would say to the upside that may cause issues, yeah, actually this is very interesting in terms of a study. This high was taken, we've had a reversal negation, we've had an order flow shift, which is a new concept that I've mentioned. It's the first time I've mentioned an order flow shift, but it's something that I think, well, it is coined by me, and it's something that I have a very, very deep understanding of. It's taken me years to understand these shifting flows. But I would expect this to be traded to down here around about 425 or so. 430 to 425 for a rebalancing, and then pretty much nothing. I don't expect it to go anywhere after that. So in terms of just a kind of short term to a very early medium term movement, 430 to 425, and if it does run to the upside, I will just make a note of this area here. Okay, and I'm not expecting it to go much past that point. Okay, so I'll leave it at that. Engine, expected. Obviously we had a really nice move, dried up, liquidity, reversal, negation, drop, and complete rebalancing of price. So at this point, the next level of liquidity, if it starts to drop like a tank, is down here. Okay, around about the, what are we talking, we'll call it 250 to 255. I am not expecting Engine to come down here, but if it does, I wouldn't expect it to, I would expect that to be the floor where all of this consolidation is, and stop at that point. But if it kind of just grinds in this area, it needs to work this off now. So I think Engine's going to slow down for a little bit. And then the rest are irrelevant to our analysis. So I'm going to leave it at that, guys. As always, hope everybody's well. Hope everybody's had an awesome day. And I will catch up with you guys in the chat. As a quick reminder, if you're not involved in the Discord or you're not in the Swissborg Discord, just do a search for it on Google, and you'll find me in the Wealth and Trading channel, where we collectively as a community share our ideas, and there's a lot of educated and very experienced people in that room. So I would definitely suggest that you get yourself in that room and be part of the community, because we share a lot of good ideas. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon.